Hey all, we're back again. Another barrel trip is upon us. Here in the boat. Just packing everything up as we prepare to go to either Apollo Bay, Port Mac or Portland. I've changed a few things up this time. We're trying to go obviously when there's no boat traffic, and try and time the weather, which we're failing miserably at. This is the second trip that's probably going to be on the borderline of whether we can go or not, but we'll hook the boat up and tow down anyway. In terms of fishing reports, we haven't had a whole lot. Obviously some fish at Apollo Bay. There's a few fish at Port Mac. Portland's been a little bit quiet, but obviously with all the weather and everything offshore, it's been pretty shitty and no one's been able to sort of fish it. The swell blows up massively on the weekend, so this will probably be the last window we'll get to fish for a while. But yeah, we've had another poor season, back to back of bugger all fish and bugger all fishing trips. But as with all things, if at first you don't succeed, try, fucking try again, and we will. So just me and Smitty this time, the Cutler OGs, because no one else wants to come with us anymore. But yeah, we'll hook up in the morning. We'll tow down to most likely Apollo Bay for day one, and go fish off the Cape there, and with any sort of luck we'll find some fish. So wish us luck, because I think this trip we're really going to need it. See you out in the water. Morning all, we have arrived at Apollo Bay. Got a westerly predicted up to 20-25 knots today, so we'll see how we go. Might be a bit of a rough one. As always, here's Smit, ready for another day of punishment.
Morning everyone.
Only one other boat launching right now, so don't know if that's a midweek thing or whether that's a weather thing, but we're not going to die wondering, so we'll unpack now and get it happening. What do you reckon, Smit? Have you a chance today?
More of a chance here than we were at home.
Oh, here comes the rain. Anyway, the Golden Girls are out. We're heading out. Let's see if we can break this fucking hoodoo and get this monkey off our back. Off we go. Beautiful harbour, Apollo Bay.
Nice facilities.
Beautiful. One of the better boat ramps. Bit of rain, bit of wind.
Bit of sunrise. Looks a bit lumpy on the horizon.
Looks very lumpy on the...
Looks a lot lumpier than in here.
Anyway, we'll power out and see what's going on. As usual, rough as the dog's guts. For the day, already a boat on it. 75 metres off Cape Otway. Have a look at the conditions. It's as bad as you get. Sweet's going to set the spread here for now. I'm going to try and save us from fucking tipping over. It's going to be one of those days where it's going to be too rough to film, so We'll do our best, but look at these balls of water. A little bit of bait. Bond's Exocet in the Paris colour. Dolphins. Alright, we're going to try and catch a fish. Hopefully next time you see us, we are hooked up. Camera doesn't do it justice, but it's probably peaking at about 5.5 metres here, and Smitty's crook as a dog. It's not great. Might have to call it a day here. Quite fucking ugly out offshore.
We got for a spit. Just checking that surrounding. Probably got spew on my face, so I apologise, but when I was setting the spread I started to feel a little bit ill, and now I'm feeling very ill. It's pretty shitty. Cook us a croissant. I reckon you must say. Is it a bust up behind us? Sweet. Look at that. Oh, man. Paradise.
Kissing down rain. We've come into Blanket Bay for a bit of refuge and a bit of a cuddle after sort of going out wide to 75 metres, and we took, what do you reckon, 2 or 3 waves over the bow?
Yeah, I know.
We got a bit sick. It's probably the most dangerous ocean we've been in for a while. Yeah, the old adage, no fish is worth your life. But tell you what, your life's probably not worth wasting a fucking annual leave day to come out here and go back to the boat ramp. Yeah, what are your thoughts, Smith?
Well, we're going to do the same thing again tomorrow. Well, I guess we'll go and recheck the weather and see if it's worth staying here or going somewhere else. Or going home and going back to work.
Yeah. No. There's hope though, Smitty. There's hope.
No,
is it hope or is it a pride rainbow?
Probably a pride rainbow.
enjoy each other tonight. See if I can catch something off Smitty. Alright, we'll touch in later with our plans for the rest of the trip. Back on shore. It's pissing down rain. Boat's coming out, and yeah, we're trying to figure out whether we go back home, call this trip off because of the weather, or whether we stay tonight and try and fish a weather window tomorrow. Yeah, I guess we'll sit down, have brekkie, pull the laptops out and see what we can find. But all in all, very disappointing. Morning all. So this is the morning after we get home. I'm in the boat, giving it a good wipe out and just giving everything a salt away, wash down, lures included. We yeah, obviously took a couple of waves over the bow yesterday, come up through the windscreen and through everywhere, and we caught a few over the back. So the poor old boat is just full of salt water, and as you know, it just corrodes everything, and yeah, so it becomes quite a task giving everything a wipe down and making sure that there's no remnants left over. But yeah, on reflection, and having a look at the weather apps last night, the wind gusts off Cape Otway were probably, well, they sort of set up to 30 knots, but we reckon there was a few more gusts that may have been a little bit quicker. Yeah, forecast was 10 to 20. The swell was 2.8 to 3 meters, but when we got out there, the swell was obviously over 3 meters. The wind chop was just horrendous. I think from the bottom of a wave to the peak, we had, yeah, at least 6-7 meters, and it was just absolutely horrible. In hindsight, it was probably pretty bloody dangerous, but as you know, when you've had 3 barrel trips in a row cancelled, and we decided to bite the bullet based on the forecast and thought it'd be a little bit sloppy and we'd be able to fish in it. Yeah, very disappointing. And a few people have said that this year the sentiment's been quite negative, but anyone who has a young family and obviously a job and a limited amount of annual leave, you like to try and make the most of it. Unfortunately, we've spent probably 4 or 5 days of annual leave now where we haven't fished at all, where it's just been either coming home or sitting at the pub or in the accommodation just waiting for the wind to die down. It's been probably the worst year we've ever had in terms of weather. Yeah, don't really know what the answer is. Get rid of the family and quit your job? Obviously not an option. I love you all dearly, especially you, Dale. I'm very lucky to have a missus who supports this hobby. Not only supports the amount of money we pour into it, but obviously the time away from her and the kids. And yeah, I'm very lucky, and I appreciate them very much. So hopefully now, this weather for the next, looks like the next week will blow through. And on the back end of it, hopefully some calmer seas and some fishable weather. I think personally for us, we're done now with the big trips to Port Mac and Portland. Apollo Bay's easy. That's a day trip. That's only about an hour and a half from where we are. It looks like, just from talking to everyone and what we can see, is the fish seem to be moving back towards Geelong. The big schools are red bait, and there's a heap of slimies and yakkers and things offshore. So I'd say any day now, the local barrels will show up, which is good for us. That's just day trips, half days after work. Yeah, it makes it a lot more accessible for us. But yeah, to everyone that watches, appreciate you all. To everyone that comes and says g'day or leaves comments. I realise that we're not really fishermen, we're more just boating enthusiasts, as this year, yeah, the catch rate's been quite low. Yeah, so thank you all for all your feedback, and I do apologise for the negative sentiment and the negative sort of spin on everything this year, but yeah, as I said, it's very disappointing when you put all your money and time and all the other factors of life aside to go out and fish and not actually get to fish. It becomes quite disappointing. Yeah, but it's why we love it. It's the adventure. I've always said catching a fish is always a bonus. And yeah, the allure and the drive and the passion to continue to go out and hunt these monsters, or even hunt schoolies at the moment would be happy with, is always going to be there. And it's a sport we're obviously deeply passionate about and we love, and wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, hopefully the next video, I dare say, will be of us maybe off Apollo Bay, but most likely traversing the heads and heading out offshore into that 75-80 metre water to have a look for the local barrels. Yeah, we'll as always, we'll film it all the way, and you guys can have a watch and have a laugh and carry on. But yeah, I have no doubt eventually it's going to turn around, and there'll be lighter winds and calmer seas. So thank you all. We'll see you on the next one.